My husband Dave and I recently spent some time exploring Andalusia, a part of southern Spain brimming with history, culture, tradition and beauty. We experienced Seville's famous feria and visited two UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the Cathedral and the Alcazar.
We also went to Cadiz during Carnival. Then I did a solo road trip, which I'm going to tell you and Katie all about during this series. Every Friday there's a new morning calm experience for you to immerse yourself in. So please follow us, read our blog and enjoy this week's experience.
Welcome back to Seville. Today we're going to take you on a tour of some churches and cathedrals around the city, and there are loads, so it's going to be great.
I absolutely loved Seville. We just walked around, didn't we?
Yeah.
We're just blown away by all the different churches that there are. So many, and they look so different from the outside, and then when you go inside as well, which was great timing, they just look amazing. I mean, especially when you look up and you can see like the paintings, they're just phenomenal. I've really loved Seville. I loved the old buildings, I love the old churches and walking around. Yeah,
and there's quite a lot of variety as well between them. Seville's got a very long history, so there's churches and cathedrals in a lot of different styles. This one, for example, is a combination of Gothic and Mudéjar architecture.
Okay, so Mudéjar was from the Alcazar.
Yes, we learnt about that during the Alcazar
So yeah,
video.
it's Christians that hired Moorish like designers because they liked the design, yeah?
It's a bit of a mashup, yeah, it's a mashup style, definitely. And this one, again, you can see is completely different.
Yeah, I love the arch. I absolutely love the arch of this one, and yeah.
It's a bit more understated as well with the white wall on the front. It's really beautiful. And inside again, just so ornate.
Yeah, the decoration, there was so much gold is used. I mean, it's not too different from churches across Europe, I guess. It's just kind of the volume there were in Seville, sorry. I mean, there's hundreds, isn't it? There's just hundreds of churches. I mean, here's another one.
Yeah, this one's got quite an amusing name. It's the Brotherhood of Bitterness. I'm not sure what that means.
The Brotherhood of Bitterness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's someone who did not have a good relationship with their brother. their bitter brother, yeah.
I think a difference in the UK from in Spain is that we have a variety of different Christian churches around, whereas in Spain they tend to all be Catholic.
So I remember this one because something happened, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were just having a look around the church. It's quite close to the Setas, this one, one of the other big sites, which we'll take you to at some point as well. But yeah, I mean, inside it was just, again, gorgeous. And then we ended up doing a bit more exploring on this site and stumbled across something quite interesting. So
what are we doing here?
So here we are buying some biscuits from a nun. So what you do is some churches, there are cloistered nuns behind these kind of, I guess, a lazy Susan.
Here come the nuns.
Here they come, and you buy biscuits by placing your money on the turnstile. It gets spun round, she takes the money, puts the biscuit, spins it back. We've just stopped for a biscuit break in Plaza del Triunfo, and we're going to try these nun biscuits. So let's have a go.
Dig in.
Apparently they've got cinnamon and anise in them, so let's give it a taste. Tasty. Yeah, what do you think?
Crumbly and delicious.
Nicely spiced. I approve, nuns. So yeah, that was definitely a very unique experience, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible, like, buying them and you couldn't see who you were getting it from, and it was very strange, like a lazy Susan, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called El Torno, that wooden structure that spins around. And apparently the recipes the nuns use date back to Roman times, and it is something you can encounter all over Spain, although specifically in the south it's more common.
I mean, this one was one of my favourites, actually. The decoration on the outside of this was very intricate and just very well done. Yeah,
this is the Church of St. Louis of France, and it was a Jesuit church. Built in kind of the 1700s, and the Jesuits were all expelled from Spain in the 1800s, so this church later became deconsecrated, which means it isn't technically a place of worship anymore. It's owned by the government, the local council, so it's really good. You can go in and do a tour. It's free on some days of the week, and it's just absolutely beautifully maintained.
Oh, don't forget to look up on this one and see the dome and how high it is.
Yeah.
This is the great part about 360, is looking up, and in this room as well, see the painted ceiling, and it's just gorgeous.
And if you look really closely at some of the decoration, there are actually human bones incorporated into some of the decoration here, which I found a little bit freaky. There were skulls and different limbs. Not entirely sure why, but I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
Yeah, and this was the garden that was in this church, and you could see the domes and just how beautiful this building really is. Yeah, it's a phenomenal place. I didn't know it was owned by the government. That's interesting. It was it was a great place to visit for sure. One of my favourites. Also, this is the monastery that I went to and you didn't visit, Katie. This is when I had some time on my own. So this is the monastery of Santa Maria de las Cuevas, and yeah, so it's got quite an interesting history. So it used to be a monastery, then it was a ceramics factory, and actually an Englishman owned it, and now it's kind of an art centre. So if you look to the right, you can see some of the artwork. Freaky. Yeah, it was really weird. That's not a giant man, that's just artwork. Yeah, but there was some really cool stuff, just like knocking about. And of course, because it was a monastery, there was still a church. And here's just the kind of video of the archway and kind of this nice little courtyard.
Beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great place to walk around. It had nice grounds as well, and it's definitely worth spending a couple of hours there, especially if you like museums, because as I said, it's now an art museum, so there's different exhibitions on.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed that. Oh, and here we are. Okay, this is the cathedral in Seville. So this is the third biggest church in the world. And technically the biggest cathedral, because the first two biggest churches don't count as cathedrals because there's not a bishop there. So technically the biggest cathedral in the world.
And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so that's pretty awesome.
So yeah, it was built in the 9th century. A mosque was built on this site, which was then updated a couple of times. When the Christians took over, it turned into it was adapted into a cathedral, which was then redone again in the 14th century. And the elders who decided that said, "Let us build a church so beautiful and so magnificent that those who see it finished will think we are mad."
Wow, that's a great... this is an amazing view. I mean, this doorway into the cathedral and the statue, everything about this cathedral was so grand and just breathtaking, really. And yeah, just phenomenal. Wow.
So it has 15 doors into the church and 80 chapels. 80 chapels in this cathedral. Incredible.
80?
80.
Well, that is a lot. I mean, we didn't see them all, did we?
No.
And this is one of the chapels, isn't it? That's just kind of attached to the cathedral. Phenomenal chapel. I mean, yeah, it was just one of these amazing buildings. It just blew us away, really, didn't it?
Yeah. And an interesting fact is that actually Christopher Columbus's remains can be found in this cathedral. There's been a lot of controversy as to where his remains actually were, but in 2006 they confirmed with DNA research that this is where Christopher Columbus's remains lie. And that bell tower there was actually an original part of the mosque that was on the site.
Behind you right now is actually the Alcazar. You can see the walls of the Alcazar. And yeah, obviously the cathedral's right bang in the middle of the city, and it's just such a big site. It's incredible to look at.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And that's it for today. So like the video and follow us and join us for more Andalusia videos, and we'll continue the series.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Are you looking for a new challenge or a new way to use your headset? Why not start learning Spanish in a virtual environment? With excellent instruction from the talented teacher Jen, we'll get you speaking Spanish in no time. You'll use your new language skills out and about with virtual amigos from around the world. Our 3-hour virtual reality course is supported by additional learning materials in the real world. And this is all available free at morningcalmproductions.com/dynamic.